This is the Variety Sports Network created for the fans, by the fans. Now to your host of tonight's show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, East Coast to West Coast, North to South, welcome to the seventh inning stretch.
Too cool to even look at the camera.
That's his
I'm
look
too
away
far
move.
away for you to see my face.
It's the look away shot, and that is the voice of the once Logan Stone here. He's going to be joining us on seventh inning stretch here at Dugout Mug Studios, Row One brand. We got a lot to get into, gentlemen. We had Logan. I'd say this is. Can we say it's an upgrade over our last guest last week? But this guy has the experience. So he brings everything to the table, and he was at a game live, people, last night. And we have a team that's moving on to the ALCS, and we of course got our guy, one of our main guys here, always. Logan Stone. Logan, you're joining us tonight. We're going to go over not just the Rangers game, but you're going to get your thoughts on some of the other playoff matchups. And it looks like we got all Texas matchup coming here. So glad you could join us here tonight, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little annoyed at two teams, but, we'll get into that later. Right now, I'm just happy to be talking baseball. It's been a while since I've watched a game. I don't even know how the game works. Is it still 3 strikes and you're out?
Yeah, there's still 3 strikes. Nothing changes in
Depends
that
on who the umpire is.
The umpires is a little bit differently in that regard. What I was going to ask you, let's go right to the team that you were at last night, because did you have this team when you did that little spin thing as well?
What's up, Tyler?
Tyler McGurk joining us as well here on seventh inning stretch.
What's up, dude?
Did you have the Rangers thing when you spun the wheel this year? Was that who you got?
No, I had the Rockies.
You had the Rockies. Okay, so you were at the Rangers game last night. You just sent me a pic of the game. We get Tyler on here. We'll get his thoughts on in a second, because there's an angle I want him on with as well, involving these two teams from Texas. So I'm glad you could jump on, Tyler. Good to see you, my friend, as well. Logan, the Rangers, they sweep the Orioles. I mean, ridiculous at the game. Real quick, are you more impressed with the Rangers or more disappointed in the Orioles' performance?
I don't know if I'm necessarily impressed. I think this was more telling about the big weakness that is the wild card series now than anything. I think that week-long just break where the Orioles get in their own heads kind of screwed them up a little bit. And I think the Rangers, they played a team, and they were just kind of they didn't have time to really get into their own heads and like, oh, I got to be mentally prepared for this. I think they were just having to live for that day, and that helped them in the long run. I was texting Josh last night during the game. I just said the Orioles just seemed just out of it. They were just in their heads too much. There was a ground ball straight to the third baseman, Weisberg, I think his name was.
Yep.
And he missed it. And I think it was just like little plays like that that just come back to haunt you. And I think that led into a 2-run inning.
Yeah, they struggled the whole. And to me, I got to go back to game 1 though. That was to me the big one right there. You had their chances there in game 1 a little bit there, Josh. We kind of were talking about that with going into the series. We're talking about games that they could steal and stuff like that. Let me give you a shot at it. Who are you more impressed with, Rangers or Orioles?
I'm more disappointed in the Orioles.
Yeah,
I expected that to be a really good series. And I honestly thought the Orioles were going to have the edge. I was kind of – we all know I was high on Texas early in the season, and they kind of fell apart, and I was like, okay, they hit the wall. I was wrong. And it looks like I wasn't actually wrong.
I got to get that on a bumper sticker. I was high on Texas. I like it. That's what we like, right? That's somewhere that's making money during election time right now. So, all right, what do you got there, John?
So, that's kind of where I'm at on it.
No, I hear you. That makes sense. Tyler, you jumped on here. What do you think of it? You got more impressed with Rangers or disappointed in the O's?
I'm disappointed in the O's just because of how well they played in the regular season, winning the 100 games. But the starting pitching just wasn't good enough. They didn't perform. Bratis, Carrison, Rodriguez, and I can't remember who's pitching today, but 2 of them only got into the second inning. You can't win ball games that way. And then you have a veteran lineup that can hit the ball. And there's Like, that's a good lineup Texas has. They're not going to slump. They're going to have good at bats, and then they have probably the best manager in the playoffs, at least. Whenever he's in there, they got a fighting chance. And the Rangers took it to the Baltimore Orioles.
And that's the thing with this team, this whole thing. If we're all talking about this, like we had McKinnon on last week, and I was like, he was talking about he had the Orioles. Remember Josh going into the ALCS, and I was like, yeah, but I was trying to convince him, and I could tell you guys are both not West Coast guys. It was obvious listening back as well. You guys were. And I said, Bochy has the magic here. I mean, like he literally sprinkles dust, and starting pitchers go 7 innings. I mean, it just happens. I mean, Logan witnessed it last night with Evaldi, who's still good, but he has his moments of suckiness too. And last night he looked really good again. Josh, Logan, you had good seats. He looked pretty damn good last night.
Oh my gosh. I had never seen a pitcher get a standing ovation and a curtain call before, and that was pretty impressive.
Well, George Bush giving him a standing ovation, though. That's the important part of that.
Big man of Texas.
I know. I think he was too busy hiding himself. I was throwing popcorn and soda at him. But yeah, Evaldi was really good. That was impressive. That was a really good performance. And as a Cardinals fan, I don't get to see good pitching very often. So when I do, it's nice to see. Even if it's on another team.
Magic now too?
I mean, I know he knows how to handle a team, and I think that's probably what the Bochy magic is. And I'm not as well versed with the Giants as Tyler.
You know about that year.
You know what game's 5?
Yeah, shut up. But I think he knows how to just keep a team calm, cool, collected, and I think that's a big motivating factor. Like that helps a team. And I think Brandon Hyde, I mean, he's never been in this situation. So it's kind of new. He doesn't know how to treat his team. And that comes with experience. I mean, Tony La Russa was another kind of guy like that. He was really good at just calming a team down. I think Mike Maddox had a lot to do with it too. He's been in that position with the Rangers before 10 years ago. And so I think it's just a mixture of all that stuff.
I think the best thing you brought up was they hadn't been there before. Weeders hasn't been there. No playoff at bats. Mullins, how many playoffs at bats does he have? None. Mountcastle never had any. Like they haven't been there. This is their first time there. They're starting pitching. You hope gets a little better. They might, if they're willing to spend the money. But they have a young core that's going to be pretty good for years to come. And they're only going to get better with Holiday and Henderson.
I know Holiday. You think about him coming up too at some point here, and then like Gunnar Henderson, what a stud! That guy's a beast. That guy's just like
he was really good.
Like, go Josh.
If the Orioles acquire even upper middle pitching, they're going to be good for years to come as long as they can keep that young core together.
Absolutely.
If they pull off a Braves setup somehow, where they get these guys locked in for the next 6, 7, 8 years. Oh, good Lord. They are going to be the cream of the crop of the AL.
Could you imagine the Orioles doing that? Though? Like,
I think it'd be so good for baseball.
They were like the standard. And like my dad was like born in like the 50s. So like the standard were the Orioles. And it's just funny how franchises change over time and like what fan bases take is what. I'm impressed with the Rangers. To me, it was a game 1 was such an odd game. I feel like and then game 2, it's a whole different style. They won 11-8. So, they kind of won both kind of styles of games there a little bit. And they get the performance from Montgomery in game 1. That's just like, I know that's Josh's guy from 2 years ago. So he steps up. I don't know. I'm starting to believe in them a little bit. And I hate their stadium for some reason. I'm not a big fan of the stadium, but whatever. They get the W's there. Logan, it looks very nice, though. It looks nice. Hey, how about the other team in Texas here, though? And then we'll get more to the series that they play with them after this. But I don't know. Like, were anybody able to see that 9th inning, the bottom of the 9th? Does anybody see those? Okay, those 3 at-bats are worth rewatching versus Presley versus all 3 of those guys. Tyler, you would know this. We've all had closers like this. All 3 batters go so it's a 3-2 game going into the bottom of the 9th, obviously. Astros are up by 1. Presley takes all 3 batters to 3-2 counts and strikes them all out, though. I mean, you talk about stress inning just to finish off a series. That's the definition. Like, if you're a fan watching that, you're just like, my God, man, just get ahead of the count.
It was so annoying. They were helping him out, too.
Yeah,
they were helping Presley out with it should have been 2-on.
They were aggressive, though.
Yeah, they were aggressive. And Kepler, I mean, he gave up right at the beginning. And I was like, you have Correa on there coming up. You just need to get on because Correa is going to do something.
No, he's like, I got to hit a home run. Hit a home run.
Yeah.
That guy, you're right. Kepler, that was a terrible at bat.
And so I was screaming at my TV. And the Twins, I think I might have texted Ryan this, but I said, the Twins just gave up this game. The Twins never cared. They thought, oh, well, we're never going to come back. And then they just gave up. And they had never been in that position either. Like the Orioles, they were done. They gave up. They were over with. And I honestly, it angers me because the Central should not have been. I wish there was a thing that says if your division sucks, monkey balls, then you guys don't deserve to be in the playoffs because then you're just going to get rolled over by the Astros and they're going to end up in the championship series. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, well, the Astros are so great. Oh, my gosh, they're so great. They're a dynasty now. And it's like they play the Twins, okay?
They are a dynasty.
The Astros only won 3 more games than the Twins.
They are a dynasty.
The Twins are a dynasty.
You said the Twins were pissing you off, though. Well,
yeah,
I mean, okay, but this what was this guy?
Royce Lewis. Yeah,
he was good.
I mean, he's the only player on that team.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the only one who was caring about it.
I was like, who the hell is Royce Lewis for the season?
I think he's a rookie too.
I was like, who is this? I knew the whole. I like see him game 1, and he's like taking just massive hacks. I'm like, this guy looks like a stud right now. The way he's like hitting the ball, he's like absolutely on fire. Jose Abreu wakes up. It took him 6 months, but he's awake, Tyler. He woke up finally.
This players, like, it's the opposite of the Orioles. Players that have been there, manager that's been there, they're going to be a tough out. They have a deep lineup. Altuve at the top of the order. He didn't hit today, but I just feel like everybody.
How about the Twins, though? Let's put the Twins to bed.
Well, the Twins are the Twins. I mean, they had Carlos Correa. I mean, they somehow made the playoffs with this lineup that Julian's pretty good at the top, but outside of that,
Sonny Gray let him down. He got let him down. Game 3. Santana came out for the pitch and he let him down. Tyler let him down.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Go ahead, D. You were talking about the Astros, though.
Sorry.
I like this Astros team. They're gonna be a tough out. People are gonna hate it, but they'll always be performing in the playoffs because, like the Rangers, they take good at bats, and I feel like that's the key to playoff baseball.
Josh, are you with Logan? Just the Central teams, if you suck, you're not allowed in. Is that part of it?
Better be.
I'm not. No, because there's got to be
the Cardinals couldn't get in.
There's got to be a measurable standard. And the way the teams are every year, you can't set a measurable standard year in and year out. I guess you could have an average based on the previous year, but you got to win at least 65% of your games, maybe.
Oh, it's a lot.
Oh man, they would never do so. I don't think they could do that. I'm because there'd be so many examples of teams that like did make the championship on that. That'd be a lot if you put a winning percentage on it. I feel like, but I hear you on that. I hear you.
I mean that's the only way I can think that it would be fair.
Yeah, to put like a win total.
Maybe if you got more than 10 games over 500, then you can play.
Something like that would work too.
Was it like
hey, I got to take off, guys.
Instead of 5 games, which is what the Twins did.
See
you, buddy.
Tyler's gonna be doing the TMD podcast here for the Niners one here in a little bit. Logan,
that's right.
Yeah, Logan's got to break it up here a little bit. We'll get him back on here in a second. With it, hey, as we move on from that series, you're good. You're good. Let's go to the ALCS set match. Let's get it set. Let's pick. So we got the two Giants managers that Tyler is here. He just left, but those guys, funny to me, they both coached the Giants, both like kind of looked upon as great managers for the Giants, Dusty Baker and Bruce Bochy. Baker was never able to get the actual World Series though for the Giants. What do you think? What do you think, Josh? You got Rangers at Astros here, a best of 7. It's all Texas, everybody. Who you got?
My heart says Rangers. My brain says Astros.
Well, 7 straight ALCSs. Your brain would probably be right.
I mean, I don't know. There's something about the way this Rangers team is playing right now that makes me think, I think they're a year away from being World Series contenders. That's what I said at the beginning of the season. They are further ahead than what I thought they would be.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they got the pitching, I think they got the lineup to compete. But if it was a best of 5, I think they could do it. 4 might be too much. So I lean to the Astros, but I'm going to be rooting hard for the Rangers.
Sounds like a man that's unsure, Logan Stone. What do you got there?
I know if I say it, it's not going to happen, and I hate that I'm saying it. But the Rangers are getting John Gray and Max Scherzer back. 2 guys that were built for the rotation. And I don't know if they need them in the rotation right now, and they're going to put them in that bullpen. And that kind of I have said this for years and years, and Josh has heard it. It's not defense that wins championships, but it's pitching. And I'm telling you, this pitching, I like this pitching more than I like the Astros pitching. And the Rangers have some guys that I like a lot more than I like the Astros.
This is the problem for me with the Rangers, the bullpen. The bullpen has been as suspect as it has been. You know what I mean? Like honestly, it's been terrible. I think they're like the first team to lead the league in blown saves and saves. That's kind of crazy to think about that. Like that's how bad the bullpen's been. The Astros to me have a big advantage in the bullpen. They have a Abreu there that can strike out guys as well. So I feel like it's not just Presley in the inning. And the other thing, Logan, is like, as you guys know, now we're starting to get to ALCS time. When the pressure on these pitchers in the postseason in the bullpen is different. And the one thing the Astros continue to have the advantage at is these hitters are really good. Like they break down pitchers as the game goes on, and they seem to get clutch hits. Oh, yeah, and they have this guy Alvarez that seems like an unstoppable force of nature at the moment right now. I mean, you could throw Seager at you for the Rangers too. I get that. But Alvarez, I think if we're green, is a little different animal at moments. So I don't know. That's where I lean. I just go – I hear you. Like to me, it is Astros. Like if they lose, this is a big upset, I feel like. Because I feel like Josh is right. They are a year early a little bit. They have the guys like Garcia, but like if I look at this roster, I'm taking the Astros roster most of the time.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What matchup are you interested the most with? Like you talked about Scherzer and that. Like I agree with you on. I was going to ask you real quick that's where Bochy I think could be smart, right? Like he takes a guy like Scherzer and another starter, and maybe he uses them in the bullpen better. Like I don't know. Like maybe that's part of his like kind of magic we're talking about.
Yeah, I do. I mean, the way Eovaldi was pitching, that's big. Dane Dunning, he's been really good. Who's the other? It's not is it Andrew Heaney who I'm thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
He's been good.
He hasn't got lit up.
I mean, I wouldn't put Heaney in a start. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
But John Gray. I would put. I think honestly, Max Scherzer needs to be a starter, but also,
Probably.
he would be a deadly weapon as a bullpen piece. It's hard. But it's a good problem to have in a way, and that's kind of why I like it.
That's where I'm like, if I'm the Rangers, I get all their bullpen problems. I'm like, I might not mind Scherzer there in the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning there to be able to, if he can't go Like if you can't go more than 4 innings, right, Josh? Right, like in a start, maybe use him for
So
that.
let the starter go 4, let Max go 4, and then you bring the closer in.
Bada boom, bada bang. You got yourself
You
a
save
day.
your entire bullpen.
Yeah, but then you lose Scherzer for 2 days. That's kind of a big thing for me. Is like I think
Okay,
you
but
need.
that's a game and a day off. So
Yeah.
you lose him for 1 game.
Scherzer should just say he's retiring, and they can use him however they want. That's what they should say. He said he's retiring. They could just, if he said that, Bochy would be like, "All right, we're gonna use you. We're gonna go all out here." Seriously,
Yeah.
if you consider
Destroy your career like we did Madison Bumgarner.
exactly. Oh, cheap shot at Madison now. Oh, I like it. If any Giants rounds out there, give him a boo bird. I like that one. That should be a fun one though. So you live in Texas. Is this looked upon as a big deal? I'm assuming.
Yeah, Ranger.
Or is
I
this
was
not?
listening to. I was
Or is
listening
Texans,
to.
Cowboys bigger.
I was listening to Rangers radio last night, and they were acting like this is a big deal. Like, oh, it's. I mean, because a lot of like they travel well. Astros fans go to a lot of the Rangers games, and Ranger fans go into the So they were saying like at Globe Life, it's going to be about 70-30, maybe 60-40 between Rangers and Astros fans.
That's
so
sad.
yeah. So it's going to be interesting for sure. I'm not necessarily, I mean, they act like it's a big deal. It's not really that big of a, there's not going to be blood or anything. It's going to be,
There will be blood.
Yeah.
Who
Everybody acts like.
Who does Nolan Ryan root for?
Oh, Rangers.
Rangers? Okay, he's all
Yeah.
Rangers. Is that because I wonder? I got to look at how long he pitched with both franchises in that one. Josh, you said you're leaning towards the Astros a little bit. Obviously, we have a little time to think of this one. We got a little time here. It's an interesting manager matchup, Josh, from the standpoint of we've talked analytics a lot of it. These two managers you don't really think of when it comes to analytics, Bochy and Baker. So not a ton, anyways. Not as much as some of the new young guys, like our guy Gabe the Babe Kapler. So we don't think of guys like that as much. So
who's now unemployed?
Who is now unemployed, but I'm sure he'll find a job.
Is that deserving though?
Yeah, that's absolutely deserving.
Oh,
24-hour fitness. That's
he
right.
trashed a good organization.
What a beard! What a beard the man has. Though keeps it trimmed. Logan, question of the week here, brought to you by our good old sponsors here, Row One Brand at Variety Sports. Just real quick, are you loving the fact that the postseason still has kept the pitch clock? Is there a little drama element that our guy Bob Costas brings up a little bit when he's announcing games? Brings up there's a little drama, a little left. He misses the 4 pitches out wide and some of that. So what do you kind of make of this? Is it too quick for you?
I don't mind the pitch clock. It was funny though. Yesterday, I was seeing a big home run, or like I saw a couple home runs from the Rangers, and I didn't realize how quickly like they were celebrating, and then like right then the batter was going off, or the pitch was going, and so that made me laugh. I was like, oh yeah, that's quick. You can't really just sit in the ovation right there and like let it linger. You have to get out of the box and then you're going.
I forgot to ask you this at the beginning, real quick. This is totally off. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've never been at one where they celebrated like winning a round. Did you stay for a while? Was that pretty cool to see? Like that had to be pretty cool to see.
So I wanted to stay till the very end, and I did. But then, so I rode with my dad, and I regret everything I ever do because he's an old man and he needs to be in bed. And it was already 11 o'clock, and I thought, you know what, whatever. So I got to see a little bit of it, but I didn't get to sit around
Did you
much.
get to see the final out at least?
Oh yeah, we did.
Okay.
I got to see the dog pile, and that was cool. And it was a little bit of a letdown. I thought, I was kind of expecting like fans to be screaming. There was a lot of screaming, but it just kind of died down quick. And then I was like, okay. So interesting to me that it wasn't, like awe-inspiring. Maybe for the championship series when they win.
Beat Texas probably mean a little bit more if you got something like that. Josh, watching the postseason, you wish it was a little slower for drama reasons, like my boy Bob said, or no?
I mean, I would like to eliminate the pitch clock for the playoffs, but
oh god,
no, 5 hour.
We need 5.5 hour games.
I mean, you get to look.
Give him an extra 5
Why-
seconds.
That's why he turns his video camera off because he's afraid to face me.
Yeah.
No, I walked away. I didn't
I
want people
walked
to look at an empty chair.
That's interesting. You know, for me, it's funny when you watch it. Like honestly, like one of the great things for the postseason for me, it is a weird thing, but when the games are longer, I live here on the West Coast. It's like so the games go later. So for me, that was always like, oh, I knew a game would be on at 10:45 if I wanted to watch one. Like now, I do know they're going to be over a little bit sooner. So there is that part of it. I like it, but I don't need to see 3 minutes of unnecessary stuff. Like I said, I don't need to wait in traffic. That's not what I need to see. So there is part of that where I'm okay with that. Go ahead, Logan.
Can we end having the West Coast games start at 10 o'clock at night?
No.
That's something that I thought last night. I mean,
No.
oh my God.
I need a 10 o'clock start. I watch 7 o'clock starts.
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock for you, but it's like 8 o'clock for me. I'm an old man now. I can't do this.
Well, how do you think I feel when the game starts at 11:20 and I'm like freaking in the middle of work? I'm like, what's going on here? Like, or today the Phillies game, I still have like 2 hours of work. It's frustrating.
Oh my gosh, it's just okay. At least have the Dodger or like the West Coast game start before. Like it doesn't need to be. Oh my gosh, it's just so annoying. I need it to be before 8 o'clock. I need to go to night. I want to see the Dodgers get destroyed.
Me and you will have a battle on this one because I'm telling you, I see 11:20 postseason start, and I'm like, this is insane. Like it's hard to like. I'm like, this is asinine. What are we doing? Like, and you saw it, the Rays. Their fans didn't even show up. I know it's the Rays, but they have like 14.
They were never going to show up. It wouldn't have mattered if it was 7 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock for the early bird special for those people in Tampa.
Maybe if it was free beer night, they would have showed up. Hey, let's get to our guy John's here in Atlanta Braves and our guy Ryan and the Phillies a little bit here. Bryce Harper, just a beast today. I was staring down RC at third base, just staring him down for the 10-2 win today. The first homer was just a bomb, an absolute bomb. Just got all of that one. And the attitude, the flair. I mean, like I said, I'm not a big Philly guy in that regard, but you got to give their crowd some respect. They kind of seem to get the team juiced up, as our guy Mike McHenry said last week, and I've been thinking about it, Josh, as he said it. Like he thinks they're a buzzsaw, and I'm starting to agree with. Like they look like the definition of a buzzsaw in the playoffs. I mean, they should have won the game too, so the series should be over at this point. But what are you kind of making of this Bryce Harper just get off my lawn type of moment, and the Phillies looking like they're the real deal again?
So part of me likes it, and then another part of me thinks it's excessive. I don't know, man. They're fun to watch right now, and I don't like them.
Hold on, what
I don't root for the Phillies unless it's their playing team I really don't like.
I don't know what you meant by excessive. I was trying to. What do you mean by excessive?
Why are you doing this to me?
Because he doesn't know better. I'm trying to think of something that can compare to that. I thought Ray Lewis at times was excessive.
Oh, I got you. The celebration part. I got you.
Yes. That
I thought you meant the way they were playing.
Too much.
I got you. So you don't like the spiking the bat into the ground? You're not a fan of that?
Nah, that's too much. I'm fine with the hollering, but I don't like the tossing. The bat flip should be reserved for walk-off grand slams.
You're not.
That era is over, Josh. That era is over, my friend. That era is over. It's dead.
You are not allowed to have fun in games. Per Josh,
I don't mind it. No, I don't mind having fun. I just think some things should be reserved for certain accomplishments.
How about postseason? Guy hit the 3-run homer. He called you out for not, kind of being a little bit of a sissy on the bases a little bit, and he stares you down. I feel like to me that's a good thing in baseball. I like to see a little flair there.
I don't mind some drama between rivals. I prefer a bench clearing brawl over anything.
Oh, please. I'd love one.
I mean, those are my favorite.
I was hoping that Harper would just chuck his helmet at Arcia.
Postseason.
I'm sorry, Josh. I interrupted you.
I think it's for walk-offs, I don't care. I mean, if you walk off a series winner, by all means, go bananas. But, I mean, if it's outside of that, no. I mean, you guys are professionals. You're paid to play ball. I like the intensity, but sometimes I find it to be excessive, unnecessary.
I can agree with it, but like, man, part of me in the postseason is like when he stares him down like that, I'm like in my head,
That I'm fine with.
I'm locked in now. I'm locked in, like, you know, or that, like, you know, this, or like when Garcia chucks his bat after just hitting a nuke yesterday that Logan was able to witness. Like, I'm okay with that stuff a little, but I hear you on that. But what do you think about the Phillies being the buzzsaw? Are the Braves just folding, or John's Braves just folding over right now?
Oh, I think we'll find out tomorrow. And that's the best way for me to phrase it, because I think if Strider comes out and just shuts down that offense,
well, there's that.
Then no, they're not the buzzsaw that we think they could be. But they are a very, very potent offense, and they ran into a pitcher that was better than they were. So we'll see what happens. If they get through Strider, then I would say, yeah, they're a buzzsaw, and we probably are looking at them in the World Series as the NL representative.
Logan, buzzsaw? Ryan's Phillies, the buzzsaw.
Oh, yeah. And the determining factor is not the offense. It's not the pitching staff. It's the fans. I am telling you, that fan base. And then when Arcia made his boneheaded comments yesterday, that dumb fuck, I mean, I don't understand what he was saying. Like, why would you say that? I don't care if it's not supposed. Oh, never mind. I misread that comment for a second. I was like, that's not good. But anyways, but when Arcia goes attaboy Harper because of that double up, you awake a sleeping giant. And and that is a team and a fan base that you do not piss off. The Phillies, I believe, have the best fans in baseball, honestly.
That makes me sick.
I love it. I mean, they were taunting. They will get under a pitcher's skin. They will get under a player's skin. They were saying yesterday or earlier.
Oh, that we know they will do.
They did the tomahawk chop. I loved it. They were what was the other thing that they did? They said, we want Strider. Oh my gosh. I mean, they are clamoring. They want blood. They would storm the stinking field if there was a brawl coming out. I mean, that game would never be able to end. And I love that. That fan base is something else.
And it felt good to see that fan base lose a Super Bowl and a World Series last year.
Okay.
Just a little salt there, right? A little salt there.
You know, you're athletic.
They have the best sandwiches.
I gotta be a hater.
Why?
Because I don't want to. I'm not gonna sit here like I give them respect in that regard right now with the Phillies with that. I hear you on that, but like, where was this 10 years ago? Where was this? You know, this isn't like a 20. This isn't like a long-term thing here with their fan base yet. Where I'm like seeing them jack up their players. Most of the time, they're booing them off the field like your boy Scott Rowland, kicking them out of Philadelphia. That's like where I think of it with the baseball side of it. So it's hard for me to be like, yay, Philly fans.
Hey, if you're not going to be good for them, they're not going to tolerate your crap. They don't go, oh, it's okay, and then they pat you on the butt and pick you up. No, they're going to, oh gosh.
Well,
I just keep thinking of the contrast.
Is that a cheap shot at Cardinals?
Oh, I hate Cardinals fans. Josh knows how much I hate Cardinals fans. They're the worst fans in baseball.
Well, how about
that's why he had to leave the Cardinals show.
Because of that.
But I will say, for Bryce Harper's celebration, when someone pokes at you like that and you say something so stupid, you're going to flaunt it and you're going to say, hey, if I hit a home run, I'm going to rub your face in it. That's why it took him 2 minutes to run the bases. That's why he stared at Arcia. That's why he looked. That's why he hit 2 home runs. I mean, you do not do that. Yeah,
I'm all in for that.
That's like, hey, you wanted to here, now you're going to get the clause too. So come on. So yeah, I think for that moment you have to do that.
John's Braves falling apart. Yeah. The Braves again. Is it going to be a postseason failure? We talked about them all season, Josh. Almost it felt like 39. What I would say, like 50% of our podcast for most of it was the Braves because how dominant they were. Then here they come, playoff time, just a little bit short. I will say this: that was quite the ending to that last game, Game 2, though. that was kind of an all-timer just in terms of like fun to see right there as the Dodgers are cutting into the lead people 4-2 here in the game here with it. So we got that going on in the NLCS as well. But the Braves just kind of a choke job there a little bit if they can't get it together, like we said, Logan. Like, okay, so Josh, you said tomorrow you want to see some heart. Okay, I get it. 10-2 loss. It would have been nice to keep the game a little closer today to see a little bit. But you're right. Tomorrow, backs against the wall. What do you got? You got your ace on the mound, and you got free going game 5 if you win. Phillies 1-1. Let's go. Let's see what you got. You can't get knocked out 2 years in a row by your rival in the NLDS. Not at all. That cannot happen. All right, so I'm going to get it up on the screen here a little bit. We got the DBacks and Dodgers game going on here. Dodgers did cut into the lead here. Cut it in half. They're down 4-2 here, so not quite yet that the DBacks are going to be playing the Phillies in the next round. The Phillies do look pretty dominant, fellas, against the Dodgers. That first inning, I mean, I don't know how we want to talk about this we talked about the D-back. My dad keeps bringing this up because he listens to our podcast. He doesn't listen to a lot of them, but he listened to the last one I did with us, Josh, and he was like, I saw him today at the soccer game I went to before the pod, and he's like, I don't know where he's funny. He's like, I don't know where I heard it. And then he's like, keeps talking. He's like, oh, I think it was actually on your podcast. That guy, Josh, whatever, made the comment, like, the Dodgers steal a game or two or whatever, they'll be dangerous. But so I was like, you remember the Josh's comments, but not mine. But I was like, whatever. I was like, I see how it is, Dad. But we got through it a little bit. We got through the game.
Hey, at least your dad listens.
That is true. Well, he
I was going to say.
I paid him this time, so he did. Finally.
Yeah.
So I paid him. He did this time. But anyways, with that said, the D-backs, like you talked about, kind of look a little bit better in that one. What do you kind of make of the D-backs? Putting it to the Kershaw, 6. He gets one out, and they get 6 runs.
Yeah, he got one out after he gave up the 6 runs too.
That's what okay. The first guy should have caught the ball. It was a hard play, but he should have caught the ball. But anyway, 6 runs and 1 out. That goes on his stat sheet again, Josh. The guy can't perform in the postseason.
Overrated.
Well, Logan, you say he's overrated too, or is this just a postseason overrated?
Postseason overrated.
His last couple of postseasons weren't horrible, if I remember correctly. I mean, they were better. It's not
They
weren't like Cy Young caliber, but yeah, they were better. I mean, they kept him in. I think he won his first game that was Verlander, I think. But
Verlander's been dominant.
In the World Series, Verlander had never won a World Series game.
That is true.
So, I mean, he's just as overrated as Verlander in that regard, I would say. I mean, I think Kershaw just had a bad game. I think he is one of those pitchers who needs to be in a rhythm at all times. And the fact that he got out of a rhythm and had a week off with the Dodgers was not good for him. So
let's kind of go from that because this game's still going on. It's 4-2. We'll kind of touch on it as we finish up the show here a little bit. Okay, you touched on it a little bit, Logan, earlier. This is kind of a part I want to get to as we go to it. Is this wild card round? I don't really know if there's I don't know what the perfect system is for this unless you just do 1 versus 6. Unless you do that, I don't know what the point is because I'm not saying that the wild card team should have an advantage. They shouldn't technically because you're using more of your pitchers. But there is this thing in baseball called Uncle Mo. And if you get a little bit more playing time, a little bit, it's not like football where like the teams are more dominant or basketball. Like it's just a little bit more of an even sport. So like I get it where it's like, okay, these wild card teams have to use their pitching. But at the same time, it does feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel that great to me. I'd rather just see 1 versus 6 if we're going to do it. That's literally what I would rather see. Or I don't know. So my question is, how much stock can we continue to put into the regular season when it seems the wild card team always has a little bit of an advantage? Like, I don't know. What do you guys make of this? Or am I just off the rocker with this comment? Anybody?
I'm trying to look at this right now. Yeah, go ahead. So the wild card series started on October 3rd. And then the DS started on October 7th.
Yeah, which isn't that much
So-
time, so it's not like they should have a massive advantage, the wild card team.
So why not have the wild card games like on October 3rd, 4th, and 5th,
Yep.
and then the DS start on the 6th? That's a disadvantage to the wild card team.
Money.
Is that really that big of a money? Or okay, fine. I mean, I would say I want to give the wild card as much of a disadvantage as possible, and I would say have a double header and then fit all three
that would be
games.
fun.
Have all 3 games in 2 days. So a double header and then another game the next day.
All right, I'm actually that one I don't mind. Because the thing I don't like is like they had to played the 3 games, Logan, but then they had like 3 more days or 2 more days on after that. And then if you're in the NLDS is ridiculous this year. They basically had a day off every other day for the first 3 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was insane. Like, and like I don't get it. Like, it just doesn't feel like an advantage to me in any regard for the actual team that win the division. I think it needs to go to best of 7 in the NLDS personally.
Really?
I'd like to see that. To me, that tells me you're the champ of that team. Like, you beat them in a best of 7. Nothing's fraud about that. Like, to me, like, you know, it just doesn't feel fraud. Like, I get it. Well, the Orioles aren't coming back. You're probably right. They went up 3-0. They're probably not losing. But, like, I don't know, like, even this Phillies Braves one, and just like you see it with 3-1. The depth plays out, the momentum plays out. That's how I'd rather see it play. And like you said, they could get that done if they started the wild card game series earlier.
Yeah. And I think like I mean give the wild I mean I think you gotta start it just 2 days earlier.
I agree.
And like and have the wild card series. Why are the wild card teams getting in like days off? They shouldn't.
No.
They should not get any days off, in my opinion.
They got 2.
Like
they got 2.
And then plus the days between the DS and the wild card series, like you're able to get a couple of starters on full days rest. What advantage? Oh, the number 1 seed gets and 2 seeds, they get the couple days off too. But it's like, how big of an advantage is that? It hasn't been an advantage. I think they said that. Oh, I can't remember what the stats was, but like only I think one seed, 1 and 2 seed has made it past the DS.
Yep.
Since I can't remember the exact since they started doing this in 2020, I believe.
Yep.
And they skipped 21, and then they made it 22 and 23. So it's not an advantage.
Nope.
And it's not even. I mean, the DS has become really boring. Like the Orioles they just kind of rolled over after game 2. The Twins, they were kind of there, but like, I mean, the Astros, they made it, but they've been in this circumstance before. The Dodgers are about to get rolled over on, and no one thought the Diamondbacks were going to beat them. Who's the other team? I mean, so it's just weird. I mean, the Braves are kind of rusty, it seems like.
I mean, to get shut out, it's kind of funny to see both teams get shut out that first day in the NLDS too. Like, and they both, especially the Braves, they had it. They hadn't gone all season with 14 innings. They hadn't gone 14 innings without being shut out like in a row. They go 15 innings in the playoffs this year. Let's go to the NLCS possibilities a little bit. Let's just say the Dodgers have a little chance. Are we okay? Would you rather see the Dodgers versus? Would you rather see the Dodgers versus our Phillies, or what would we prefer to see here? What do you got, Logan? Real quick, what do you prefer?
DBacks and Phillies would be awesome, I think.
DBacks and Phillies. Logan, Josh, you on the same thing? That would be good stuff right there. Corbin Carroll, the rookie, Gallen coming in full. All right. As we kind of get to near the end of the show here, I got players that have delivered in the playoffs. All right. So these are guys that we probably already talked about. Royce Lewis was on my list. This guy has been an absolute machine who has delivered. Alvarez has delivered for the Astros. Abreu has come out of nowhere now and has delivered for the Astros as well. Our guy Corbin Carroll, and we talked about Bryce Harper as well. How about your guy Evan Carter from the Rangers? Unstoppable, this guy. This guy's been unreal. Any other guys or any comments on those guys that jump out? Logan, we'll give you first word.
Castellanos has been pretty good.
Damn
I mean,
good.
he's been really good. I think he had a multi-home run game. He had 2 home runs today. One in front of a Charlie Manuel, right after they talked about Charlie Manuel's stroke 2 weeks ago. So that was funny. So they were like, "Oh, he did it again."
Oh,
so
something negative.
there needs to be like an earthquake, and he's going to go off. He's going to go 5 home runs.
It's funny how that works with them. They always say that with him. Anything negative, the man delivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good call. He there as well. Then your guy Corey Seager seems to be pretty unstoppable as well. What he I thought was kind of funny when he set an ALDS record with 5 walks in a game, and the announcer's like, "Mom, I did it! I called a game with a record. I did it! I called it." I thought that was kind of funny. That was a good call there. Josh, any of those guys we remarked on that stood out to you, or anybody else that maybe is kind of standing out to you?
The catcher for the Rangers, Heim.
Oh yeah, yep, that throws. Jeez,
dude. You know what? He plays really good defense. He hits this season. He has hit the ball exceptionally well for a rookie. And the only reason I was aware of him was because of fantasy baseball, to be honest, because I never heard about him. I no articles. I didn't see any big coverage on him throughout the season, but I watched his numbers in fantasy baseball, and that's how I knew he was around. But he has been really, really good too.
Jeffers, I got to shout him out. This guy from the Twins, he made a throw the other day that got Abreu out that didn't run down. I don't know, Logan, if you or Josh saw this highlight. Like Abreu kind of pulled up short a little bit at second base. This guy Jeffers, I think it was game 2. He made this a really good throw on a block. I was really impressed with that. Pablo Lopez was really good in game 2 as well. I thought he performed really good for the Twins in that game. And you can't ask for much more against a lineup like that when you shut out a team for 7 innings.
I mean, he looked like a number 1.
Geez, he really did. He looked really good in that game. So he really impressed me as well. And like I said, that guy Evan Carter just coming out of nowhere. All right, here's my diamond notes. Shout out Peter Gammons here. We talked about it a little bit already. Scherzer looks like he's throwing a sim games, looking to set his sights on the ALCS there. Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor recovering from elbow surgery, should be back. The 2-time Gold Glove winner should be back fully ready to go by spring training. A note with postseason starting, I thought it was a good one. Mariano Rivera pitched 141 innings in the postseason. And through these 141 innings, he had an ERA of 0.70. That is pretty good, folks, for 141 innings pitched in the postseason. That's pretty as clutch as it gets.
I don't know if you saw this one, but I have another one.
Let's go.
There have only been 3 left-handed players to have ever hit a home run off of Clayton Kershaw's curveball.
Really?
Yes, 3 players ever. Corbin Carroll did it the other day in game 1. So, are
the other 2 players even noteworthy?
One should be noteworthy to Josh. It was a big moment, and the other one is going to be hard. But he's in the same division.
I can remember.
It was big country, baby.
Yep, I can remember.
City.
Yep.
Big city.
Big city, whatever.
Matt Adams.
Matt Adams,
Matt Adams, that's who he played.
2013 NLCS, and the other one was in 2019. Charlie Blackmon.
Oh, okay.
Those are the only 3 players ever to hit a home run off of his curve.
That's
left-handed.
Crazy. That's a crazy stat, actually. That's impressive. It took him for that long into his career to get to that point too. And of course, Mr. Adams did that. What? In the postseason, of course.
Game 6.
Yep. He did that in the postseason. I remember that one. I definitely remember watching that one for sure.
I thought Carpenter did it too, but never mind. But
all right, as we get to the end here of the show, we've kind of touched on all the stuff here. We still got the DBacks Dodgers game going on right here. We're in the top of the 8th tier. Dodgers looking to maybe get a little comeback here against the D-backs, make it interesting. That'd be fun to have 2 games tomorrow. I'm not partial to that. I would be all right with 2 games tomorrow, even though I know D-backs fans would highly disagree with that. All right, so as we're talking about that, look ahead to Thursday's action. Boys, we'll give the guests the honor. Did the Phillies finish them off tomorrow? The Phillies get the job done. Is it the game over tomorrow, Logan?
I think Strider's screwed. He's not going to last 4 innings.
Whoa.
it's going to be a blowout.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We heard it there first, folks. 7th inning stretch. Logan calling the blowout. That would be not showing any heart, Josh, like you were hoping to see from the Braves if they go out with another blowout to the Phillies. Who do you got, Josh, tomorrow?
I got Strider. 13 strikeouts, 7 innings.
Screw you.
Yeah, that's what I got.
All right. I like that. I'm going to go Braves, too. I'm going to say they show a little heart. I feel like this team, gosh, you just had too good of a season to go out like that to the same team, the same exact team. I just don't want to see that.
They awakened a monster that they can't put that monster back behind the fence. It's over.
But if you pitch good enough, you will put it away. That's the thing.
I have 2 things to talk about before we leave.
Let's go.
So yesterday, I told my dad, I said before the game, I said, listen, I think Corey Seager is going to hit a home run. And I also think Adolis Garcia is going to hit a home run. And if they do, this game's over. And look, and he
was like, I called that you texted me.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it only happens with teams I don't even care about, honestly. But also at the end of the game, Michael Young was walking up the stairs, and I said, "What's up, Michael?" And he fist bumped me. I think he appreciated that I didn't make much of a scene because I think all the Rangers would have swarmed him. But as a kid, Michael Young was kind of my boy.
What a pain in the ass hitter he was. Gosh, he wore out right center field.
I loved him.
He was a beast, man.
Matt Carpenter is the reason why I wanted to be a second baseman, but Michael Young was also one of those guys too. I loved him. He had gotten a ring.
He was one of the original Rangers that kind of was on that team while they were really struggling too for a few years.
Oh yeah, he was there
more than a few years. Yeah, he was there for a while when that team was really at the bottom. So I always have mad respect for Michael Young as a Rangers, as an A's fan, competing against the Rangers. Maybe I could have used some of those calls while the A's were in the postseason. Logan, thanks for not using any of that magic on my A's over the time, but it is what it is.
Sometimes the baseball gods just look favorably on me. And I thought I need to put money on this right now. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm too lazy. It's not going to happen. It wouldn't happen if I had put money down. I'll say that.
I got to say this too, as we're kind of wrapping it up here on Variety Sports Network, Dugout Mug Studios. I know we're all we got a lot of things going on. We're busy. All things kind of come about. We all have life stuff that happen. Josh, Logan, it's kind of good to get back together here. It's good to and we're doing playoff baseball. I think we all love it. I love playoff. There's really just I know I love basketball. I love all these sports, but there's something about, like I said, every pitch mattering a little differently. When baseball time comes around, you get these surprises, you get the tense moments a little bit. And I'm glad that I have you guys here to be able to talk it with you. Logan, glad you could jump on again with us. Thanks for coming on and bringing your knowledge like you always do. So you gonna know enough rich people to get to the ALCS or no?
I was kissing some butt last night. I was like, listen, we're gonna have to do something here, buddy. But I think they're gonna invite me, so that's good.
All right.
If they don't, I'm just gonna jump in there. I'll streak the ballpark. Maybe
you'll see Susie there. I'll shout out there, Variety Sports there. We got her on there. Maybe she'll be. You said they travel, those Texas fans or those Houston fans. Maybe she'll be
I don't think she'll travel though.
Probably not.
She'll get angry.
She'll get too angry to travel. I got you on that. That's funny. Josh, how we doing? That was a good show, my friend. Thanks for getting Logan on with us here tonight.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I was happy to bring him on.
Let's do it. You guys are the originals here with it. You make it happen. I'm glad we can get it. Logan, hopefully we can have you on again here soon. Maybe some World Series or maybe a little bit before that, ALCS. If you do go to a game, it'd be fun to do something like that. Maybe even a post game with you if you have the chance to do something like that. Had a lot of people tuning in tonight. I appreciate the comments, Tyler. Appreciate you even checking in for a little bit tonight as well. Josh, I know we'll probably be back at it probably next Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. That's kind of what we've been hitting during the postseason. So we'll probably be there with you on one of those days. For Logan Stone, For Josh Edwards, I'm Darren Breyer. This is 7th Inning Stretch, postseason edition. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Hey, this is Brandon, CEO of the Variety Sports Network. Thank you again for watching tonight's show. Best way you can support us is by hitting that subscribe button, that like button, and hitting the notifications